Give it. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Show, coming to you live from the Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru studio right here in Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is A5 Anthony behind the glass coming off a dub.
It sounds like you brought that show in with an edible inside you.
No edibles right now. Why? Was I slow motion?
It was just like, hey.
Listen, you know what it is? I'm trying so hard right now to level myself
from
and
Finding Nemo.
Stay neutral. I'm just trying to stay neutral today because I already woke up. Oh, first of all, barely slept. You know, I mean, there's a lot of football to cover today, but I barely slept. The Cowboys playoff games tonight. Today is 365 days to the day of the Cowboys' last defeat against the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs last year after getting punched right in the mouth by those bums. And, you know, here we are. So a year later, we'll get into the Cowboys and everything like that in a little bit. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Football weekend it absolutely delivered. There was really no stinkers outside of the San Francisco game where even that was close in the beginning. So
I mean, they were down at half. They were down 1 point.
Yeah, they were down
17-16 at halftime.
Something to that effect,
but there was this underlying feeling that halftime was going to go a little bit different in each locker room.
Yeah.
The Seahawks at that point, I feel like they put it all out there. They got every break they needed. And the 49ers are just a really good team. They beat the piss out of you, man.
Brock Purdy, once again, man, just being everything but irrelevant. That dude, it was to the point where I started to say to myself, I'm trying to convince myself that this guy's no good, right? I was just like, it's going to happen. He's going to listen. And I did talk to my paisan, Tony Catalina. He's my co-host for the First and 10 podcast on Blogging the Boys. He said that there was a couple, and this is his words, not mine. There was a couple passes by Brock Purdy that was a cunt hair in a window. You know, like if it was a good defender, he would have picked it off. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know if he could do that.
The dirtiest word that you've used
ever
on the dirtiest word that's been used on this show.
Yeah,
that's saying a lot.
The first one. It's a see you next Tuesday type situation. I didn't want to say it, but I was quoting. I wasn't.
You could only go one worse with that. It was like
yeah. Well,
yeah, it doesn't get much worse than that. But anyway, back to the
good morning.
The cunt hair of the past.
Going back to the
Brock
chat
Purdy.
real quick. Good morning to Mark from Canada. Ken Paulman in the building. He was also involved in the break last night. Break Buds were doing a whatnot at like 10 o'clock at night last night. I was very worried. And when I beat you here today, I was like, did he oversleep? I don't know how late they were here. It could have been a real late night. These guys are breaking jerseys like it's their job, and it is.
This morning I had to wake up. The reason why you beat me here was like I was up in time, plenty of time. I didn't have much issues waking up. But then when I looked at my face in the mirror, I had to ice it for like 40 minutes.
You were swollen?
I was just swollen. My eyes were puffy. They might still be puffy. That also could be the in-between show weed hit that I took.
Ah, yes. Okay.
That got me leveled out.
So a good luck.
Trying to stay neutral today.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning to Janine Mashad, who is now officially, I told her this the other day. I said, you're sponsoring our show over on the Premier Streaming Network, which, by the way, launched today. That was a lot of fun. We're seeing a lot of cool things, a lot of big-time responses over there. So check out the premierstreamingnetwork.com. They also just launched their app, so that's available too. But I told Janine, I said, look, you're the sponsor of the Chop Social, but I'm officially anointing you and officially making you the official sponsor of the Chop Sports Show as well. I was like, you've done enough for us over the years where I'm just, if this is your show, you've done enough.
I feel like that was like a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, and she's in the thing now. I changed the thing. Do you see the thing? I did. I put the absolute eyewear getting involved.
I'm going to get a text from Ashley if I say seen. I seen that.
Is it I saw that?
I saw that.
I've seen that. You would have to say I've seen that, not I seen that.
Grammar police.
Anyway, good morning to the Pong Kings. Oh, I know exactly. Is that the guy from the Jimmy Palumbo show, possibly? With the beer pong thing?
Or it could be Gary.
It could. That's right. It is Gary. It's definitely Gary. It has to be Gary. Good morning to Gary. Which, by the way, and we'll get into the Giants in a second.
You were not the champions of
anything. You are not the champions of anything. I saw your reel. And whatever, I forget which bar. If you want to plug the bar, you can. It's in the comments. But I saw the reel. You played We Are the Champions after the Giants beat the Vikings. And I was like, Champions of what? That
They should-
Sunday?
they-
Like, I don't know.
I was going to say you're
everybody
giving
pump the
bulletin
brakes.
board material to the Eagles locker room, but then I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, no,
They're not
they're not going to
watch that.
watch the bar footage from
Anyway,
Sunday.
so there's a lot of football to get into. Toast is in the building. Good morning to Toast as well. Break Buds in the building.
Sure does, Toast.
I'm sure. If that's all Toast is on, then bravo. Because
Toast. Yeah.
I feel like Toast is on speed sometimes when I watch him do his picks and shit.
It's called Toast has the over in the 1:30 tip off, 1:30 East Coast, but he's out west. So I guess those specific.
There's games today.
I have no idea.
It's Martin Luther King. The Knicks are actually on, I think, in the afternoon. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's get to the football. We'll go in chronological order of what games we saw in what and when they were played. And we can start with the San Francisco 49ers beating the brakes off the Seattle Seahawks. But again, this one was closer than people thought. This one was definitely a game for a little bit. But man, oh man, like between CMC, Debo, even Brandy and Ayuk and Kittle, and they got a who's who over there. They're going to be very, very hard to stop. It doesn't matter who's going to walk into their house next week, whether it be the Cowboys or whether it be the Bucs. They're going to be a very hard out. But overall, Seattle, they did what they could. They weren't supposed to be there kind of mentality. And, they kept it loose in the beginning, but ultimately the Niners just sparked them up.
It was halftime, and they had this, we were not supposed to be here mentality. So they all looked around and they were like, guys, we're not really supposed to be here. You want to leave? Trying to dip?
Mm-hmm.
So then they went out in the second half and they got their fucking teeth kicked in every which way possible. That 49er defense, man, it was like they were embarrassed by their performance in the first half, and it wasn't even all that terrible. And then they showed up.
Did Paulman show up last night?
Yeah, it was an ass whooping. That 23 was the game made it look like he was even closer. It wasn't. It was a tie game pretty much at halftime, and the Seahawks got a late touchdown at a DK that didn't matter.
It mattered if you're in one of those like fantasy playoffs or whatever.
Yeah,
and
that's
you have
about it.
That's a big thing. But yeah, so 49ers take care of business. They'll look and wait to see who they take on in the second round. Again, it could be the Cowboys or the 49ers. But yeah, so anyway, we got a free bet coming in from Toast. Georgetown first half +8. They're a first half team. Purdue -3.5. No Hall for Sparty. All right, so there's
whatever that means.
That's college basketball speak. If you want to ride and tail the toast,
I am not quite there yet.
Not me either.
I need a couple
especially
weeks
not
on
today.
that.
Fuck that. I am not there today. But yes, so Niners, congratulations to their fans and their fan base. I know Greg over at Subaru in Woodbridge, big Niners guy. Your brother, big Niners guy. So obviously, there's a big Niners following and fan base within Shop Sports, except for what?
Yo, you guys remember when Chris was too much of a gene to show up to the
I will talk about the party in a second. But the Niners, let's just say this. If you bet the Niners on Saturday, you're dumb as hell. Did you see all that nonsense?
It's been a fun ride.
That dude got was it Pepe Le Pew?
No, he was like, yo, I was talking about the game.
No, betting. I was talking about the betting aspect.
Because like, there's no way they're going to cover the 9.
Keep going. Dude, that dude got roasted. And I knew at some point he was going to delete it. So I did myself a service and I screenshot it and I posted it again. It's got a lot of volume over there on the Shop Sports Facebook group. And I typically don't go in on people like this, but I was just like, where are you getting this off?
My question is, did we run him out of the group? Is this guy?
I don't know. I've seen him from time to time.
Is his name Pepe?
Yeah, I think he's a Cowboys fan. Which, again, he was like, what's this talk about the Niners being the best defense? You better give that back to Dallas. I'm like, have you watched last month of football?
See, like, the way he was getting dragged in the comments, I assumed that everybody but me knew who he was. I was like, everybody knows
I don't know
him.
the guy personally.
But he's been a fairly decent contributor to the Chop Sports post. So hopefully he sticks around. But, hey, nonetheless, don't post dumb shit, dude. Because Dave will certainly let you know.
So yes, exactly. All right, moving on.
49ers going to win the Super Bowl.
2-8, yeah, that's very possible. And if you don't bet that, you're dumb as hell. Moving on to Saturday night, which again, Chris decided not to grace us with his presence over at Scoop's house, the Jaguars' house. When I walked in there, it was a vibe. It was a good time. I want to thank Scoop for his hospitality. When I say hospitality, I want to thank his wife for putting out all the snacks and everything like that. Scoop did not do a damn thing. Scoop, first of all, he was in a Trevor Lawrence jersey and sweatpants and socks. So way to dress up for your party. And that was that part of it. But Casey did a wonderful job.
I saw the social media post. I got frat room vibes out of Scoop's living room.
It was. There was a bit. First of all, beautiful home. Beautiful home.
Act like an
he
adult.
put a goddamn beer pong table
Act
right
like
in
a
the
fucking
center
adult.
of the living
Act
room.
like a fucking adult.
And don't get me started. Me and my partner, and I have a question for you in regards to the beer pong. And maybe Anthony could chime in on this as well, because I'm sure he's played plenty of pong through his days, right? So my question is this. We were doing a round robin tournament. It was me, and now I can't remember the guy's name. I think his name was Jeff.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I'm going to do what I do to my mom. Get to the point, right?
I'm sorry.
Jeff.
I'm sorry.
Fuck do I care.
He was a good guy. He was a good guy. Met him last Saturday. We exchanged phone numbers. We're going to go out and hang out. I'm kidding.
Sauna time.
Sauna tonight. But yes. So here's the ruling of what happened. It's not the game-winning shot or anything like that. Just preface that. So I shoot. I hit it. It starts spinning around the cup. Is a guy permitted to figure it out?
Finger, yeah. Blow, no.
Oh, God. I said no finger. I said no, nothing.
I mean,
it's a dude.
Well,
like,
first of
if
all,
the girls are like, and they blow it out, you're like, oh, fuck.
The whole
but
thing
a
is,
guy to go in there and figure it.
The whole thing.
It's a soundbite of
the understanding of the rule that I haven't played beer pong. I couldn't even tell you how long.
It was water pong for the record.
Well, it should be, because
you're in a living room of somebody's home. Yes.
Adults, COVID, pandemic.
COVID, this guy. There was,
but yeah, it was always like girls blow guys' finger.
Thank you. Pong Kings. No hooking or blowing. Grow up. Yes.
Well, of course. But
I was screwed. I felt like this was the Des no catch catch.
They say grow up. I say house rules apply. So
that's
we're talking about.
Said.
We're talking about this is my house. These are the rules. But you gotta state the game. You gotta state the rules before the game starts. And in the Pong Kings situation, house rules don't apply. You have to come up with some type of standard. You don't want the games to go long. So of course there's no blowing and fingering, because that's going to keep the games going longer. You want to move things along. So, adults or reality of the situation. I think it's semantics based.
I don't like it. Ant?
You're not fingering or blowing.
Thank you.
Play like a man.
Play like a man. Don't die. Play like a man. I'm telling you, bro.
Yo, what about
what?
Go on vacation with your family and stand there like this the whole time.
I just don't want to be a man.
Go on vacation with your family and hate the entire
party
thing.
aside, great party. Had a wonderful time. I'm just now starting to feel normal again today, and the party was Saturday. So clearly, I went to a fun little place called 20 Town USA.
Are girls allowed to blow and finger?
The girls did the blow. Yeah, I mean, it was just like one of those things. It's like a cute thing. I can
move past it. I was just curious.
Anyway, finger like a man. Oh man, play like a man. I love it, dude. I love it. So again, I don't play beer pong on the regular anymore. I just think that the rule is junk. I ultimately lost the game. And I was very upset.
If you're having a heart attack, don't call 911. Die. Be a man.
So, anyway, to this game, which by the way, I'm on record from saying this to the masses. The game was 27-0. It looks like Al Michaels and Tony Dungy are just searching for things to talk about before the half. And I went out and I said, I went on a limb and I told Scoop and I told Mark and I told everybody who can hear me. I said, if the Jaguars score a touchdown before the half, this game is a game. Momentum will swing and the Chargers will charge her. Sure as shit, that's exactly what happened. All of a sudden, 4 turnovers in the first half are erased. The Jaguars come all the way back, and nothing to be said for Justin Herbert and company. They didn't do shit.
The most impressive thing about this game, and I know that Trevor Lawrence is getting all the credit, but he dug a real big hole for this team. I want to talk about the Jaguars defense, because that's who really showed up in this one to me. Giving up the turnovers early and falling behind, that was a lot of the turnover-laden bullshit that they had to deal with.
Sure.
Field position, short field. They weren't exceptionally great in the first half, but the second half, that defense completely showed up.
Oh, you fuck.
What are we missing?
you put the Chargers on.
Well, that's what I thought. No?
God damn it. Anyway.
I couldn't see through the puffy face that I had earlier. It hadn't gone down enough yet. So anyway, thank you for that, Sauce. We appreciate you. Everybody knows what happened in this game. The defense showed up. Trevor Lawrence, he played like shit. The worst you could possibly play in the first quarter of a playoff game, and he eradicated it. He did well. Jaguars are probably dead next week, though.
Can you? Well, right? They got the Chiefs.
Dead. They're going to go to Jackson. Are they going to go to Kansas City?
What's the spread of that game? What's the opening line there? It's got to be high.
7.
Yeah, man. I was going to say double digits.
No.
No. All right. Well, in any event, all I know is this: Trevor Lawrence, adversity, beating that is so clutch in your growth and development as to become a superstar in this league. The fact that he didn't give up and just did not like kind of put his head up his ass and say, you know what, the hell with it. We did our best. He kept going. Wound up at fucking Waffle House at the end of the night. Great cameo there. That was great. 9.5, Scoop said. Yikes. I almost said it, double digits. Outside run call. We all we're in awe, bro. That is did you get I sent you the big balls thing for Doug Peterson on that call. His scrotum is so large, he wears a sweatshirt. I was right. I'm like, dude, what a call. We all just sat there like, oh my God. Like, it was incredible. Obviously, the penalty helps him out to go for 2 in the one situation where Al Michaels was not having it. I don't know. I rewatched a couple of the things, and what you can hear out of Al Michaels is he definitely was on the sauce both ways. He was on the sauce drinking, and on the sauce he was with Kyle at -2.5 with the Chargers. And I'm sorry, Kyle. Obviously, nobody wants to root for anybody to lose money, but you're in a Jaguars house. I was excited for the entire comeback. But overall, like I said, Jaguars played a great game. The Chargers, now, the one conversation I'll bring up is that this coach is found a way to fuck up.
A new opening. I'm guaranteeing you, if there's one place that Sean Payton wants to go, it's the Chargers.
You think he's out?
Oh, I think he's gone.
I can't say. I know it's technically not Black
Monday. Should have been fired last year after that bullshit at the end of the season, really. But they gave him another go of it, and now it's done. It's time. Got to go.
I mean, the Mike Williams decision last week, the clock management the week before, the decision last year, the whole tie situation thing where they screwed that up. How many times is this analytical bitch gonna
blah blah blah? You got to fucking kick the field goal, and you got to. I mean, I don't think he really had much to do with it in this game. Just enough. I've seen enough.
Yeah. AJ Bascon. If Staley isn't gone, the Chargers are pitiful. They have all the talent in the world over there. Eckler's one of the best players in football, I think. And Herbert, if they're touting him to be the top 5 guy that he thinks he is, then you have Keenan Allen, you have Mike Williams all year, in and out of the line. I'm well aware. But what I'm saying is, you have a lot of talent over there, and you can't get a playoff win out of these guys. I know it took them this long just to get to the playoffs. That was Justin Herbert's first playoff game. You know what I mean? So just I don't know, man. If that ain't it, he ain't it. I don't see it.
What, Justin Herbert's not it?
Because the coach.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say.
I'm tired of the slander on Justin Herbert. I'm the one who said it. I'm the one who's been saying this dude is just not playing up to par. Blah blah blah. It's not. None of this is working out, and it's turned out to me to be the coaching. So I think it's the coaching. Honestly,
Herbert's just not quite there in terms of using his voice to create a situation with the organization. But if Herbert said, "Hey, you got to get rid of this guy," he would be gone in one split second.
Kyle coming in. I was so hammered at the end of the game. I don't even remember how the Jags came back and won, honestly. I was talking to a very pretty Eastern European woman about how YouTube works. Bro, when I tell you, I mean, you saw it in the chat. I sent him a text mid conversation. And I was like, this woman's not real. There's no way. There's no way. You know what it reminds me of? Kyle, you'll get this. AJ, you'll get this. All the Entourage fans will get this. When the mayor is talking to the girl, and there's a bunch of people she's a he, he's a transformer. That girl gets me. That's what it felt like, honestly. But anyway, whoever Hey Guys is on Facebook, jump on over to YouTube, join the conversation. You wear a jersey for work? I don't remember. That's Joe's wife. Which Joe? I don't know who Joe is. I don't want to get involved. She's a wonderful woman. She had a great time. She was rooting for Nick and not Nick. Yeah, she was rooting against me in beer pong. So I was just like, all right, I don't even know who you are, but the fact that you're rooting for me to lose, not a fan. Not a fan of that. In any event, Jaguars win. They got themselves a wonderful, wonderful game next week against the Chiefs. We'll preview that on Friday. All right, moving on to a game that was relatively a game. Did you get the score right here? All right, good. A game that was very, very good. The Dolphins made it the game. Ready for this? My mom lives in Pennsylvania, right? She is in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. And she texted me before the game. She goes, I can't find the game. I said, what? And I was like, it's on CBS. She's like, oh, they took CBS away. What cable company takes away CBS?
None.
Right? So she got this wrong. And she's even like, oh, Jeff's helping her husband. And she's like, oh, he's helping me. We can't find the game. I said, what the CBS? Channel 2. It's Channel 2 everywhere.
Jeff? Question mark?
Yeah, Jeff? Question mark? What are you doing, bro? Come on now. Let's get this going here. But anyway,
shout out to Jeff.
Beer pong Dave gets aggressive quickly. I'm a competitive guy. It's been a long time since I've been able to do anything competitive in that regard. Yeah, so I got a little competitive. Brett, hey guys, good morning, Brett. I wonder if that's Shakika. Maybe, I don't know. It's very possible. But anyway, to this game. Obviously, the Dolphins had no chance going in with Skylar Thompson, but they made it the game. They're almost up at halftime. The Bills have been riding this emotional high where all these guys are showing up. And overall, like the Dolphins, they did show up. They picked off Allen, strip sacked them to the house. Like they made this a game. So shout out to the Miami Dolphins. If Tua is in this game, Dolphins might win this one. Like honestly, like it's that kind of game where they're obviously they lose by a field goal, but like overall, imagine the Skylar Thompson put up 31. Well, minus the scoop score
of how things go. If Tua plays, Tua could have thrown a pick six. You know, who knows how that game goes other ways. But in this one in particular, Skylar Thompson did enough to where I thought the Dolphins could have and should have maybe even won the game. Their defense showed up in a major way. I know giving up 34 points, it doesn't look like it, but what they were able to do to cause Josh Allen some major problems. And everybody's touting Josh Allen as the top 3 guy in the MVP race. I mean, I think Josh Allen's a great football player, but there's something about him that I'm just missing a little bit. Maybe a little bit worse than a Big Ben. I think Josh Allen might be, and I'm going to probably get dragged for this, but I think he might be just a tad bit overrated. I think Josh, he's obviously what he's able to do with his legs. And he's like one of those football players that he's a football player first, and then he does everything else well as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think he's a little bit overrated as they're going into this matchup next week with the Bengals. That's who's playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both teams kind of look shitty on offense. We'll get to the Bengals game in a second, but there is definitely something missing from the Bills. I just can't quite put my finger on it.
Triggered Rube.
I realistically think it might be Josh Allen. Oh, I don't give a fuck. Rube thinks Justin Fields is good, so.
He also thought Chase Claypool was a steal.
An alien. From where?
Not this planet.
No, I love you, Rube. But look, we could agree to disagree. I'm saying Josh Allen's a great football player. I think that when they're touting him, when I'm seeing memes going out there and it's like Josh Allen, Mahomes, I don't think Josh Allen's that guy. I think Josh Allen's going to be a really, really good player for a long time, but he's not Mahomes and Allen. It's not like Brady and Manning with Mahomes and Josh Allen. I just don't see it. Throws a lot of picks.
Yeah, and I bet everything that I have in my life that FS1 will not focus on that this week. Absolutely not. They'll focus more on Dak Prescott, win or lose this week, than anything else. They will not talk about Josh Allen's 3 turnovers in a playoff game because they won the game. So ultimately, if they lose, then maybe they're having that conversation, Chris. Maybe the narrative does change on Josh Allen once he's bounced. And what I'm thinking right now, if I had to call it right now from a week away, I think the Bengals could win that game. I really do.
I think the Bengals.
He beat Mahomes.
Yeah, I understand he beat Mahomes in KC.
First of all, nobody ever beats the other quarterback.
I'm also not basing anything off of a game here or there. I'm saying I've seen Josh Allen enough. I'm not saying that he's not a great football player. I'm saying he's slightly overrated because people are saying that he could be the MVP. I don't think he's ever going to win an MVP, right?
Ever?
Maybe not. I mean, Mahomes is in the league, right?
Yeah, he's not going to regress. Mahomes just keeps getting better. So that's
anyway. We'll see. Yeah. I'm not seeing him as
Matt Ryan also beat Mahomes. Very good point there, Kyle.
Joe Burrow beat Mahomes a bunch of times.
It is what it is. But
we'll I think that number 2 spot is up there for the taking. It's not just Josh Allen's. Sure.
I'm with you on that one. The turnovers are an issue. He has made some mistakes, and it is what it is. So. Anyway, we're at it right now, Toast. He said, how about my boy, Danny Dunn? I said, Toast, I don't even know what fan he is of football. Maybe I don't know. But yes, let's talk about the New York Football Giants winning themselves a playoff game yesterday in, to me, convincing fashion. Outside of again, rules are rules. Kirk Cousins was struck in the head in that, but roughing the passer and that spot, I was like, you gotta be shitting me. I was like, you can't call that, but they did.
No, you gotta call.
Of course they have to, but it's like in my mind, the phrase. You can't call that. Put it this way: if you see the ref,
if you see the shot, the ref's looking directly at it. If he didn't call it, it would be like, I could see if they don't see it. you miss certain things happening, but he was looking directly at it.
Yeah, but a lot of the times you're watching those referees, they're looking right at the toes too on the toe drag swag. They're looking right at it. And they're like, "Yep, catch." And then the review is like, "Nope, wasn't."
Fair. This is a penalty, so they could go to review on those toe drag swags. It is what it is. But a penalty, you have to make that call in real time. If you see it, you got to call it. That's it. Your job isn't to look at what's happening up the field and see, could this be a touchdown? Oh, I don't want to call it if this is a touchdown. You call the penalties as you see them.
I have to also point out that Kyle's Super Bowl predictions is up in smoke. He had the Vikings and Chargers, no? Anyway, so in this regard, Daniel Jones absolutely performed the way he needed to. To me, did he earn the big payday? I don't know yet.
I mean,
he threw for 300. He rushed for almost 80. The dude is
define a big
balling.
payday. I don't think he's going to get this massive record-setting deal, but he had already earned a big payday. Now he's just tacking on a little bit. He's 1-0 in the playoffs.
I would say
with a chance to make a little more noise and shake things up in the NFC. I know that the Eagles have dominated the Giants pretty much for 7.5 quarters, and they made it interesting late last week. That was the Eagles bench.
I'll tell you what, Jones.
I'm not seeing the Giants beating Philly though.
I don't know, man. The stranger things have happened, especially within Giants runs, by the way. Of all their runs in 07 and 11, they beat some really good fucking football teams. Okay, Dallas won 13 games that year in 2007. Then they went to Green Bay and won. There's no reason for them to win either of those games. So all of a sudden now, Saquon Barkley, dude. And I've said this from time to time, he's been the piece of glass, right? He's been the guy that's always hurt, always recovering from injuries, something's hampering him, whatever. That dude is running his ass off. And you know what? And I said this on the Mojo Market Report. I want to give flowers to the Giants and their offense. They did very well, and they performed when they needed to. But that Vikings defense is so bad. Like, I said it on the show this morning. Like, Kevin Burkhardt was wide open the whole game. There was so many guys running free. I don't know what coverage they were in, but it didn't look good at all at any point. Hodgins was looking like a superstar. James, Bellinger scores, like no-name guys that nobody's even heard of up until yesterday. Unless you're a Giants fan, you watch the team and cover the team. But like guys you never even spoke of were out there balling out against an NFL defense. That Minnesota defense needs an absolute overhaul going forward because they're bad.
Yeah, they're a bad defense. Of course they are. We knew that. Look at what they've done the last 8 weeks of the season. I think they've given up 40,000 yards combined. It's a great win for the Giants on the road in hostile environment, beating the bum-ass Vikings. But the Vikings defense is nothing like what they're going to see in any matchup that they have going forward. I mean, unless they make the Super Bowl and play Kansas City. And even then, Kansas City's front four is so much better than the Vikings that it's not even fair. The Eagles' front four and the Eagles' back end is just going to create a whole load of issues for the Giants. Now, I'm not talking about next week. Hodgins stepped up. Daniel Jones, 300-plus yards, 80 yards rushing, and a lot of that was in the first half, but still, he had 80 yards rushing in the game. The plays that he's able to make down the stretch for this team all year long. I kind of went into this one picking the Vikings because that's just how I saw it. They're a better, more talented team. But I did say, man, I'm going to probably be proven wrong again because this coach and the way this team plays down the stretch, the Giants make plays when they need to. I do agree with the roughing call. It was the right call. It was a break, but it was the right call. And shout out to the Giants. They live on to see another week.
Is it me or does Wink Martindale look like he's just a complete drunk?
He does.
You look at him, he looks like he's struggling for air. Like he just looks red, beat in the face, just like he's on his third shot. Did you see what's his face vape on the sideline?
He wasn't actually vaping.
Nobody, that's not confirmed? Because it was
it's confirmed that he's not. I'm looking at it. He just goes like this, like he was like concerned.
I thought he vaped. But anyway,
it's like
Martindale's a drunk.
Like the thing on the top is that one kid in the back of the class sneaking a vape hit. He wasn't actually vaping.
But Palm King's coming in asking, is Jones considered one of the top running quarterbacks in the league now?
He better be.
Has to be. Look what this coach has done for Josh Allen and now him.
By whose metric? If he's not
just a threat, he's Vanilla Vic.
If he's not considered that, then nobody's looking at the stats because yes.
I wonder if that. To me. He hasn't, knock on wood for Giants fans, he hasn't sustained any kind of massive injuries to his lower extremities. But like outside of that, why change your game up? It's almost as if it's there, he's going to take it, which is good. He's smart with the football.
He does get lit up a couple times, but he's a bigger guy, and eventually it's going to catch up to him if he keeps on running. There's no question about it. It's the NFL. But he's smart. He takes less hits than most of the guys I see running the ball.
Joe Palumbo coming in asking you the roughing the passer call was right? ? Yes. Look, man, Joe, you know the rules. Like, I hate it.
Bro,
I hate it.
You cannot hit the quarterback in the head.
Hit him right in the face.
If you hit the quarterback in the head, it's a penalty. I mean, it sucks.
It's the timing of it was brutal.
It sucks.
Right? But like, yeah, it's the penalty. It is the penalty. You cannot argue that based off of what we've seen in this year's NFL. The coach picking up his player's chin up after the drop pass was boss. I don't know that.
I know.
He's talking about Brian Dable.
Dropped the third down.
He dropped that. Yeah, pass
bro.
End of the game.
Bro, if any Cowboys fans out there, that was Patrick Creighton. The green pay dirt in front of him.
He meant CD Lamb.
No. I'm talking about 2007. Patrick Creighton, third down and long, had a clear view of the end zone and started running without the ball. That's exactly what he did there. That's a huge one. But you know what? Credit to that coaching staff, man. They kept them just upright, upbeat. Defense went out there, balled out, did their thing, and the Giants are going to play the Philadelphia Eagles next week. And honestly, again, far off. I'll dive deeper into the game as the week goes on. But if you had to ask me, gun to my head, can the Giants go into Philly and win? I say absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. These teams get hot at the right time. The Eagles have been sitting around for 2 weeks. I don't know, man. The Giants have the better shot than anybody else, I think, to upset the Eagles. If Dallas went in there, I like the Giants' chances more against the Eagles than the Dallas chances against the Eagles if that were to happen. I honestly swear to God. Like, that's how I'm looking at this Giants team. Like, this team is that. I'm not saying they're a team of destiny by any stretch, but when they win a game like that on the road, and by the way, I think this is the fourth or sixth straight year, fourth or fifth straight year. Tony Catalina brought this up, that the 3 seed has lost to the 6 in the NFC. That keeps happening. So shout out to the 6 seed, always just kind of grinding their way and being that road team to take it. So we'll see. Sean Redden, I know you're out there swinging your fucking Eagles dick around, but dude, I'm telling you, you might not want to be too confident on this one. And look, I'll eat my words if it happens, but I truly believe that the Giants can actually absolutely run with the Philadelphia Eagles on a third time around. The second time didn't even count. There was nobody
Put it
there.
this way, if you're a Giants fan, you better be rooting for Dallas. That's a much more winnable game than the 49ers just because of the history and you lost to them.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Dallas has to get out of tonight. But
you get what I'm saying. You're rooting, you're rooting for Dallas. Oh, that's true. But yeah, Tampa Bay's not beating anyone next week.
Well, we'll see about that as well. But and then last night we concluded with the Cincinnati Bengals getting the job done. Joe Burrow gets it done. This game was a little bit more than a game than what we thought. You know, Huntley playing over Anthony Brown Jr. was great. Did you see John Harbaugh's halftime interview by any chance? Probably not. So they interviewed him just like they do. I hate it, first of all. When they're coming out of the locker room, the last thing I want to do is talk to a reporter. But that's their job. They got to do what they got to do. She asked, or I think this might have been going into halftime. She asked, like, the girl was like, oh, you know, are you going to – you said that Anthony Brown, you know, can be brought into this game if he struggles. Will you do it? And he just looks at her. He's like, let's just let the game play out. All right. And he's like, okay. And he walks. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Top coach in the league.
Sucks.
John Harbaugh. He might have lost last night, but overall.
Yeah. You know what? Whenever I see a coach in the final 2 minutes of the game when they have no timeouts and they're calling, they don't have a 2-minute drill in place. They're huddling up on the 50 with a minute 22, 21. Right. And then they line up and, they take their time. A guy goes in motion, right? He audibles. Like, what's going on with the Ravens with a minute and a half to go?
The ball snapping.
And then you hand the ball off.
Right.
What the fuck is going on?
To the guy
up the middle. It wasn't even like off tackle. The guy just bounced it out. And guess what happens when you go up the middle and bounce it out? A holding. Almost half the time when that happens, the guy loses his guy and he grabs him and it's a holding call and it just buried them. What the fuck was that? He's one of the best coaches in football, right?
He is. Oof. He's not the offensive coordinator.
I wonder what J.K. Dobbins has to say about that.
J.K. Dobbins decided to sound off and said if Lamar was in, they would have won. If they, he shouldn't be getting the ball. And I agree with him in that regard. J.K. Dobbins averages like 5 yards a carry. If you need 1 yard for a touchdown, I don't know if I'm jumping your second-year quarterback into the sky and just hoping for the best. That's really what they did. You know what I mean? And my man was just right in a position to catch the fumble, took it back to the house. Kyle says without that play, the Ravens win this game easy. I don't believe that for a second. I just think that the writing was on the wall at that moment. You cannot call that play. And while I know in my mind, and you said it before, I think on the Mojo Market, the easiest play, the most simple play to call when you need a yard is a quarterback sneak. Then sneak it. That's why it's called a sneak. You go underneath.
I don't know, but that could have just been Huntley. I don't know if that was the call. Maybe you go up to the line of scrimmage and you get a read on what you're going to do.
And I need some of the chat to chime in on this. Maybe I've seen it too much this year, but I think there's a new wave of way to run a quarterback sneak. If I'm not mistaken, used to be. Maybe this was a rule. Maybe I only just made it a rule in my head. I know it's not a rule because it's being allowed every week. Quarterback sneaks, right? It seems to me that this year there's a little bit more of the running back come bolting up from behind you and pushing you past the first down marker. I have not seen that a lot, or I have not seen that as much as I've seen that this year. There's a lot of push.
Well, it's a copycat league first. Second,
correct.
It's a smart play. And third, just to get out in front of your next question, it should not be illegal. It's perfectly legal. I think that if they did away with it, it would be for no reason. They just blow the whistle and it stops. This is football. It's like, what are you trying to do here? You're trying to get yards and they're trying to stop you. So up until the whistle, you got to fight for your yards. And if you got nobody to block, then you get on the pile and you try and move it. That's literally what makes this game great to me is that you play to the whistle and it's aggressive and all those things. I've seen so many first downs go against me.
It was a rule.
It was?
Yeah.
When?
It just used to be. Used to be players couldn't push the ball carrier. And now Reddin's coming in saying, yes, the Bush push is now legal.
Oh, good. I love it. Maybe you're right then. The Bush push was a big deal, but
can you imagine? Ready for this? That's an extra hit that the quarterback's got to take. Think about it. I know it sounds dumb, but like think about it. If it's Joe Burrow, let's just say he needs to go. It is though.
No, it's not.
Quarterback sneaks.
Every single time there's a scrum.
Yeah, and then you see the whole pile
coming behind.
I'm talking about the quarterback, who's apparently the most fragile person on the field, according to sources. But what I'm saying is this: when they're lined up under center, right? Let's just say you're Joe Burrow. Anybody, Trevor Lawrence, any quarterback in the league, you take that snap and you're trying to push forward. You now have to brace yourself for somebody running as fast as they humanly possibly can and shove you in the back. Like, I know it's not like, again, he's not a linebacker by any stretch, but if it's a guy like J.K. Dobbins, if it's a guy like built like a brick shithouse that's coming in out of nowhere and just bang, hits you from the back just to get a first down. Think about it. I know it sounds dumb, but realistically, these quarterbacks are fragile. Point blank period. Yeah, first down. Yeah, well, that's great. First down. I'm just saying. Oh man,
I think that's how Zeke got like 80% of his yards this year.
Rule 12, Section 1, Article 4. Thanks, Reddit. Wow, he really nailed that one as far as the rule book is concerned. But Joe's saying you are so right. Has happened this year more, even with the tight end lining up in the backfield for the push. That's what I'm saying. So like you see fucking Mark Andrews like doing the motion, and then he comes in and he just destroys him from the back. Sounds like a fun Saturday night.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So
like,
what are we thinking about the prospect of Joe Burrow recovering from what I would say was a dud game for him?
He's got to bring
on
it.
the road to Buffalo next week.
I think he's
before
things
things
be fine.
Took a turn for the worse in that game. To talk football aspect of it, the Bengals were moving the ball well. I know it was only halfway through the first quarter, but they looked like they were ready to go in that one. I think that they've both kind of been waiting for this game since then. Obviously, they didn't know it was going to happen. There's going to be an emotion attached to this one for both teams, not just the Bills. I'm sure DeMar is going to be out there and lead the team out on the tunnel or whatever it might be. I guarantee that's going to go down in this game. We'll talk about that next week. But the Bengals, they got away with a scare. They escaped with a scare. You could make the case that they would have lost the football game if they score that touchdown right there. But I got Joe Burrow and an undefeated record in January says that they would not have. So.
Yeah. So I like the game's going to be incredible. If I'm not mistaken, the Saturday night game is Philadelphia and New York. I don't know when that Bills game is. It's either going to be Sunday at 1 or the early. Both AFC games are early. So it's either 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I don't know. It's one of those two. But anyway, this game's going to be great. I can't wait. All right. One more to go. It's tonight. The Dallas Cowboys taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In Tampa Bay, I know I got some friends down there right now who are getting their mugs all over First Take and all those other shows. Listen, it's been a full calendar year since I've watched the playoff game. I do have that happy to be there mentality right now of saying, like, this is cool, man. 2 years in a row. This never happened since like the 90s that we've made it back-to-back years. Cool. But now I'm officially like just done with Tom Brady. I'm off that whole. Can they do it? Should they do it? They're gonna do it. The Dallas Cowboys are gonna beat up on Tom Brady tonight. I like, you can clip this up, Kyle, or whoever wants to clip it. That's fine. I'll clip it up myself if I have to like put myself in slow motion and make myself look dumb. I think the Dallas Cowboys defense is gonna show up tonight. The Bucs have been they're 8-9. You know, they're 8-9 for a reason. And think about it like this. The Bucs are 8-9 in a piss poor division, while the Cowboys won 12 games in a very, very good division. So those are the majority of your games. You play 5 in the division right then and there. So they couldn't get out of their own division without sweating it out at the end. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. We've seen what he can do when he has time and he's lacing the ball in there. He's still got the arm somewhat. Sometimes I feel like he short arms some shit. But like, overall, Tom Brady is 45 years old. And I'm going to go on record and say if the Dallas Cowboys don't get it done tonight, it's the worst playoff loss in my lifetime. And I'm not talking about tragic losses like the catch, no catch, the Romo fumble, all that shit, the game against the Giants. That one might be, but the Giants turned out to be champions that year. So then I'm looking at that in 2007. I'm like, well, Giants just went on this team of destiny and they won the fucking whole thing. But like, the Bucs aren't going to win the whole thing. If the Bucs win, they're going to get sparked by Brock Purdy and company next week in San Francisco. Sparked. That defense is going to swarm this dude. So what I'm saying is, if you lose to a bad Tampa Bay team, it's a very, very bad loss for the franchise. And I will tell you, to boot that, the Dak Prescott narrative will go up in smoke. There's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say. If Dak Prescott does another dud and throws a bunch of picks and turns the ball over a bunch and we lose the game because of him, there's nothing I can say. I can never come back here and say, like, I believe that Dak Prescott will lead us to the promised land, because this is think about it. All the playoff runs that Dak has had, this is your easiest opponent.
So Kyle's coming in. First score of the game, Sean Murphy bunting. Pick six Dak.
Again, look, there's been times where he's thrown a pick six against Philly, and they've come back from 3 times being down 10. Or they play like last week, and there was no recovery.
Dallas should win, but obviously this is a different team. It's playoff Brady, playoff Lenny, whatever you want to say about the Bucs. There's a feeling of, at least with me, is that the Bucs knew that they would make it to the postseason, and that's when the real season starts. That's kind of been Brady's MO his whole career. Now, I understand he's trying to win football games throughout. He's a competitor, but it doesn't matter right now. They got a home game against the Cowboys. I think that there is real openings on the Cowboys defense on the one side, right?
Yeah.
Trayvon Diggs, he's a good corner, but he could still be beaten. But that other side,
he gets too happy feet. He likes to try to jump routes and they get burned.
There's real issues on the other side in Dallas right now at the second corner spot. And, you know, Tom Brady is the type of player that he might just pick on that guy all game long, and it could be a long day for him in particular. And I think really what it comes down to is if Dallas is able to run the ball well and effectively, it'll help a lot. But the Tampa Bay defense has that Jekyll and Hyde approach. I've seen them completely shut teams out this season, you know, completely just dominate the three and a half quarters of football for the most part. They can show up. I know Rube in the comments is talking about how they have their full complement of offensive linemen. We didn't know about the center. Apparently he is going.
Whatever. They're banged up.
They're a little bit banged up. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Dallas should beat them, but there is a Tom Brady effect. If I'm picking the game,
which you are right now,
the 2.5 scares me. I feel like they're begging people to take Dallas right now because it's under a field goal. For that reason, the point spread wise, and just to make things interesting and pick against Dave, I'm going to go with the Bucs in this one.
All right. Fine. it's whatever.
Hey, Cowboys can win by 1, bro.
Yeah, listen, I think, yeah, well, that's another thing. The coaching, I know you can say what you want about Mike McCarthy, and I've said this time and time again, and people can talk all the shit they want, but in the NFL, it's hard to win, right? If you go back-to-back years with 12 wins, that's hard to do. They didn't win these games by accident. They played good football.
Mike McCarthy,
for fucking Todd Bowles to be 8-9 and look the same way.
Mike McCarthy, like
pregame, he don't give
pregame.
shit.
They're going to show the coaches. Todd Bowles is going to be playing his Game Boy, like not have any clue, like an iPad kid, and Mike McCarthy's just going to be banging his head into a wall because these guys have no clue. Sorry, Dave.
No, listen. I
afford the right to talk shit about McCarthy.
Yeah, you dealt with it for long enough. 50 degrees in Tampa at kickoff. That's fine. That's a nice night for football. You know, it's not cold. It's not hot. It's perfect. Perfect primetime game. Buck and Aikman on the call. This will be fun.
Could it be Tom Brady's last game?
It could be Tom Brady's last game, guys. I mean, if that's a badge of honor to take for the rest of my life, I'll take that too. You know, if the Cowboys retire Brady, oh, come on. But he won't. He's bored now. He's got no family. And it's no offense to him. He's got his kids, great. But you know, he's on the prowl again, and he's gonna probably wind up in Vegas or somewhere else. I mean, I could see it. Oh, shut the fuck up, Kyle. With this grass shit. Again, like I'll use the age-old playing football their whole lives. You know what I mean? And I understand a lot of these younger kids are growing up with turf in their backyards, but it's like, to me, the whole grass thing is such a dumb shit. Because look, if you look at 2021 opening night, Dak and Brady went head-to-head, and they had a shootout, and we lost by a field goal. So that's on grass. You know? And first of all,
that's 0-1.
the Cowboys.
What are the other
right?
games?
They lost to the Jaguars this year, lost to the Packers this year. So his grass record, not ideal. But I will say this, the Cowboys did not have T.Y. Hilton in the first game. They didn't have Michael Gallup in the first game. They didn't even have Tyron Smith in the first game, who's kicked out to right tackle, which is now a third or fourth week. I don't remember how long it's been.
They do play well in their navy blue jerseys, though, right?
No, that's another curse that the Cowboys have. The bad luck blues. You know what I mean? Like, so again, all your narratives, shove them up your keister because I'm really not hearing it. It's done. Toast. Dak is 49-16 in NFC opponents, 39 versus teams losing records, 4-1 on Monday night, 34-8 with no turnovers, 15. Jesus Christ. So everything looks great except for the natural grass.
Yeah. Everything is like, wow, really good, really good. And it's like supporting the narrative.
Yeah. Fuck me. All right. But anyway, that'll do it. I think the Cowboys will win this game. And you got a prediction?
I really wish that you guys would stop saying that. He was not vaping on the sideline.
No, I don't, because I want to take the Cowboys to cover the spread, but I honestly don't want them to cover the spread because you'll get satisfaction out of it.
Ready for this? And this is, again, the NFL has a story, okay? And I don't, for love of God, like on TikTok and Instagram Reel, there is actually a massive chunk of people that think that the game is actually scripted, like play for play, which is insane to me because you can't do that. It's like pro wrestling. There's 1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s.
I wonder who wrote the script in the Bills Bengals game.
Correct. So, but what I will say, yeah, exactly, a piece of shit. If somebody wrote that script. But I will say this: you have a chance now. I'm just saying that the Giants can go into Philly and beat them, right? And if Tampa does win tonight, next week, Tampa against the Kid. What if Tampa wins that game too? You have the Giants against Tom Brady in the NFC title game this year. And in that, the kryptonite for Tom Brady has always been Mr. Giant. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, the Giants are going to be talking like, wait, can we go to the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Like, Rob picked them to be the Super Bowl representatives of the NFC, and all of a sudden it looks like there's a road for that. There's a road for all these teams, honestly, except for the teams that got bounced, obviously. Would you rather bet Verlander in the World Series or Dallas against Tom Brady?
You don't remember the running Verlander joke with Toast? Where, Toast, you know Verlander hasn't won a World Series start. He's like 0-7, and
I'd take Tom Brady. I would take Dak Prescott over Tom Brady. That's funny. But anyway, so that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. So the Cowboys got to get it, got to have it tonight, man. I'm losing sleep. I love the fact that we don't have a show tomorrow, except for the Mojo Market Report, so I don't have to deal with you heathens if anything does go awry. But I'm sure I'll be mentioned in Shop Sports and tagged and this, that, and a third, and I'm well ready for it. Do not expect me to respond right away. You got to give me some time. Give me that drive home from my dad's.
People are going to go to sign on Tuesday morning to check your response, and they're not going to have access to Chop Sports.
It's going to be weird. They're going to get banned. I don't know why. Chop Sports no longer an active group. It just shuts it down. Like, fuck this. It's over.
Bro, when people start complaining to me about shit in the group, you know what I say? Bro, say another word. I'm deleting the group. The whole fucking thing. Because of you.
That.
Because of you.
Think about all the friends we've made.
Don't complain to me. Because
Be a
I
man.
promise you I
Die.
don't give a fuck about your Facebook complaint. I couldn't say that like with any more conviction. I promise you that I do not give a fuck. I barely give a fuck about anything I complain about, let alone your Facebook complaint. So please, please, please don't make me leave you on red. That's not a good situation for anyone.
No, it's not. Where is everybody watching the game? Listen, I have not watched the Cowboys game out since 2017. That will remain the case. Sometimes it's fine. It's back. Yeah. He looked at me like, hey, we're out. I refuse to do that. I am now 37 years old. I can't deal with the crowds anymore. Sorry, Pongs King. I will not go to where you're at. I'll go any other day.
Too, Toast. Appreciate you, buddy.
Dallas wins 29-17, according to Kyle. 29 is a weird number. But yeah, so we'll see. I'll be home. Oh, no, I will not be home. I'll be right next to my father watching another Dallas Cowboy playoff game. And hopefully there will be a hug to be had at the end. Otherwise, I know what's going to happen. It's either going to be a hug like, yes, one more week. We got the Niners next week, or it's going to be a hug.
What's that?
I love you, Dave. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay.
Lamp? What's I Love Lamp? That's something.
That's from the Ron Burgundy. Where I love Lamp. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
My leg feel like a cock.
You probably didn't hear me. I did over 1,000. Yeah.
Yo, so guys, this Saturday night coming up, and probably a couple times throughout the rest of this week, you already know. Go on to Whatnot. Go on to Instagram. Follow the Break Buds on both. Break.buds on Instagram and just Break Buds on Whatnot. Check us out. We have the Fight Companion on Saturday night for any UFC fans.
Did I miss this? What happened?
Fight Companion UFC pay-per-view.
So you're going to be live on Whatnot.
Live on Whatnot.
Watching the fights here?
Watching the fights here. We're going to have
I did quit drinking. So maybe
autographed memorabilia with the fighters that are fighting in the main event, a hit draft. So if you're into the UFC,
Is the card good?
It's the first pay-per-view of the year. It's not great, but it's setting up a future great pay-per-view because March 4th is John Jones, Cyril Gane.
John Jones. That won't happen.
No, it will. It's
I don't think so. I mean, come on.
John Jones has not fought in 3.5 years. He could use that paycheck. He's fighting. I could guarantee you that. And Cyril Gane has never pulled out of a fight.
What's next? Is it Teixeira and Hill?
Yeah,
UFC 283.
Robert Teixeira, and then
That's
it's
January.
Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, it is.
Davies and Figueiredo 4. Thug Rose is on the card. We have some cool stuff. So
nice. Gilbert Burns.
All right. And we have like a big order coming in, about 100 items, guys. So we're going to be going live consistently on the Whatnot app. There will be a triple. I don't know if I'm supposed to be breaking the news yet, but the triple mem has been a thing that everybody's been clamoring for. We don't want to do them too often, but we are going to announce some type of Super Bowl show, and it's going to be maybe the final football triple mem of the season. So we might do a little triple. So
6,
some real value here. A triple.
6 items. Triple. 2 triples would be 6, right?
So a triple would be 3 triples. So
a triple. So 9.
Check us out, boys.
Wow, they must have unlimited funds over there. I swear to Christ, there's more fucking items in that room back there than I can. Oh yeah, if you guess the right team, we're gonna give you a jersey for free. We got a whole table worth of shit.
Bro, that was dope.
It was cool.
Did you see what happened yesterday?
I watched only for a little bit.
So we incorporated a new thing into our breaks.
I swear, and not to cut you off, there has to be a conversation to be had. Like you and Joe are phenomenal. What you guys are doing right now, and it's awesome. It's growing. We're gonna exponentially. First of all, you're gonna fight. Second of all, it's like, and the break buds. So they're high. They like the guns, right?
They
like the guns.
It's right in our bio.
But the ideas that are talked about when I'm in the presence, like I'm in the office, they're like, why don't we do this? Why don't we have a triple mem duck race? That, and the third. Bing, bang, both. The ideas.
Here's what we did. This is a dope idea.
I'm listening.
Right. So high bid for the auction.
Saw that.
High bid gets a chance to, you say your team and then you say a number 1 through 32. So you say your team. Okay, Ravens, this guy said. And then he said Ravens 12. We shuffle the cards, do a cut, and you flip through the cards. If the 12th card is the Raven, you win another autographed jersey or Jalen Waddle or whatever we have on the choice table.
What's that? A 1 in 32 chance?
1 in 32 chance. And
but that's not even.
No, it is.
I think it might be more than that.
No.
Considering you're shuffling a deck,
well,
you have to get the right number.
There's 32 cards.
I'm well aware, but then you have to get the real number.
In a vacuum, it's a 1 in 32 chance. Once the card is established, then it's a 0% chance or 100% chance because it's done. It just, trust me. All right. But nonetheless, 1 in 32 chance.
Right now.
Fucking first time we run this giveaway, and this is perfect for what we want. Like, we want to give shit away.
Somebody hit?
First one. Hit.
No way. That's
so
great.
when you set these things up, you want it to hit because you're like, we're willing to lose what we're going to lose here for the fun. And
so somebody took that Ernest Binder jersey? What'd they do?
He took the Austin Hooper.
Okay.
And bro, it hit again, but we were, people were spending some money. It was a great idea. The final bids were getting bid up because people wanted to be the high bidder to get a chance.
I saw the highest bid I saw was 20, I think. Was it more than that?
Talk after the show. Yes, it was.
I can just look.
Yeah, I don't like talking like that.
That's good.
But it was good. It was a fun thing. We have a lot of cool shit coming up So check us out.
Yo,
Break
same
Buds.
thing, Scoop. Whatnot does not tell me when you're on, and I set my notifications to tell me when you're on. You know when it will tell you when they're on? When I'm actively on my phone. So if I'm on my phone on another app, there will be a little drop down thing that says like Whatnot's about to go or Break Bud's about to go live, but like it won't show up like randomly. So I got to fix that too, Scoop. Good call. 33 and a third chance. Danny DeJesus knows exactly what I'm talking about. I think he knows what I'm talking about.
So, Scoop, I'll send you a text every time.
There you go. Send us, it's a group chat. Just send it to, hey, by the way, going live.
No, really.
But it was a weird, obscure, like 10 o'clock, third quarter go in.
No, yesterday we did this, like, we went.
Well,
live.
I saw Jorge was here with his kid.
Yeah, earlier. Yeah. We
Okay.
went earlier and we did a couple hours, and that's when that took place. The second one was just, we probably should have.
I wish I was
Should've
lying
mailed
to
it
you
in
when I
on that
said that
one.
the Chop Studios was open 24/7, 365. Because here we are on Martin Luther King Day, and these guys are here on a Sunday all day long. So
I don't have a puffy face for nothing.
yeah, it's just true. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Go Cowboys. Appreciate the love and support for all the people betting on the Cowboys tonight. I hope they win. For God's sakes,
Oh,
please
we got
win.
them visors too.
Oh, the visors are gorgeous. I put a brand new blue visor on my Tony Dorsett helmet, and it looks awesome. I didn't put anything on it. I walked in and it was there. It was done.
It is dope.
So yes, follow the Break Buds. Follow us here. Like this video. Do all those things. Watch the Mojo Market Report each and every day with me and Chris. Subscribe right now to the Premier Streaming Network. That's where you can find the Chop Social, Squeaky Bump Time, Toe to Toe Fight Talk, the Jersey Boys podcast. I'm missing somebody. Oh, Pro Football News. So there's a lot of cool things going on over there. It's all happening here at Chop
Hey,
Sports.
Danny, Sauce, a couple of you guys got some items up in this place. So whenever you're ready to come scoop them. Hey, Sauce, we'll meet up anyway. I think I got headphones at your house.
There it is. Headphones at the house.
Yeah.
For Sturch, Gooch, A5. This has been another this has been another episode of the Chop Sports Show. Let's go, Cowboys. Beat Tom Brady. See you guys Friday.